Hey everyone. Hope you're well today, and let's just start our practice. Okay. Okay. So begin to settle in your own way. Hopefully, you're uh, kind of figuring out how to do this for yourself, so that if you do it on your own, you have a way. And if not, just I invite you to get comfortable. Close your eyes or have a low gaze. Maybe take a couple of deep breaths if that works for you. And then we're going to start to bring our attention from all those thoughts up in the mind, all those things that are going on in our head, bring our attention more down inward toward the body. And I like to use the gravity, that sensation of being pulled or being heavy. And then I like to bring my attention to the fact that I'm being held up. I can feel that sensation in those contact points of my body with the chair. And then you can allow yourself to just notice your whole body sitting. So now, at this point, if you have a favorite anchor, meaning a place to put your attention during a practice, so like the breath or sound, anything that we've worked with, parts of the body, if you have a favorite place, so go ahead and just gently put your attention there right now. I continue to use gravity. But whichever one works for you, please choose that. And just lightly let your attention rest on that anchor. Allowing your attention to settle and noticing what's happening in the body as it settles. So I'm going to invite you to ask yourself a question right now, which is, what's happening inside of me? What do you notice? Maybe there's thoughts. You might be thinking of something, important, or your mind is racing. There could be sensations, so you're having an ache or I don't know, you feel comfortably full. So these don't have to be bad things that are happening inside of you, right? Just what is happening. Maybe you're having some emotion. You might have just had a conversation that worked you up or that irritated you. You can even get curious about what it is that's happening. Is it pleasant? Is it unpleasant? Is it neutral? So that ache, possibly unpleasant, maybe not too bad, I don't know. Maybe that feeling that you had with the good conversation, that's pleasant, you're feeling happy. You're just noticing what's going on inside of me. So I'm going to invite you to pick one thing. Just choose one of those things. And I'm going to invite you to ask the next question, which is, can I be with this experience, whether it's a sensation or a emotion or a thought? Can I be with this without doing anything about it? Can I let it be? without changing it. Another way you can say it is, can I say yes to this? So if you chose sort of an ache or a pain, that's interesting. Yeah, can I just allow that pain to be here without moving around, without trying to fix it, without trying to figure out why it's there? Can I allow this emotion to be without trying to figure out how it came or what I should do about it? Whatever the experience that you chose, can you allow it to be? Just ask yourself that question and see what happens. And if the experience becomes intense, I forgot to say, don't pick the most intense experience. But if it begins, it started out as like, yeah, I was thinking about this irritation I had, and now I'm getting more and more intense, and I really don't like it, and it's very uncomfortable. Go ahead and move your attention away from that if you notice that it's really too much. Back to the gravity, or back to your anchor, or pop out of the practice so that you can stabilize again, right? You can look around and then begin again by settling, bringing your attention inward to your body, asking, what's happening inside of me? Choosing an experience and then saying, can I say yes to this? Can I allow this experience without doing anything? And see what you notice as you're trying to allow this experience to just be. We're practicing just being with what's arising without reacting to it, with only noticing it. It's sort of different in our culture. Usually we react to things or do something about them. But here I'm inviting you to just let it happen and don't do anything about it. And it's just for this minute, for this practice, for this minute, second actually, this moment, and then the next moment, not forever. So if you're thinking about some irritation you're having with the person, I'm not asking you to let that go forever or let that be forever. I'm inviting you just for now. What's it like to let this sensation or this experience happen inside of you without doing anything? Okay, so we'll begin to come back. So noticing your body sitting again, bringing attention to that sensation of the whole body sitting. Coming back to your room, your environment, noticing the sounds in your environment, noticing the sound of my voice, allowing your body to begin to move a little bit, wiggling the toes or shoulders or moving the neck. And you can open your eyes and, begin to look around, get your bearings, and when you're ready, come back to the screen. Okay, great. So, as always, just notice how that is, how that was for you. Yeah, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, awkward, strange, didn't like it, loved it. Yeah, okay, it can be whatever. So, what we're doing, what we just did right then, was a practice in equanimity. Equanimity is basically about being calm when things are hard. Yeah. And wouldn't we all love a little more of that? Yeah. I know I would, because things make me react fast. And I want to be, sometimes there's those people that are just kind of cool, right? They're chill. So how do we do that? You know, someone cuts you off on the freeway, or someone cuts in line in front of you, or, you know, just all these things. You lose your phone, right? You're in a hurry, you have an exam that you have to study for and you don't have time. How do we get equanimity? Okay, so let's talk about that. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so again, the definition of equanimity is mental or emotional stability or composure, especially when under tension or strain. So it's being calm when things are going hard, right? So other words are like you non-reactive, right? You're not reacting. Maybe you're not judging it necessarily like bad or good. You're not striving to make it different. You're kind of chill, calm. You have poise, zen. You know, some people say be zen. I was all zen. Cool, serenity. You have tranquility. And then aplomb, which is a word I learned today. I didn't even know there was that word. So how do we get equanimity? Well, basically, it comes with experience and understanding. So we need some experience and understanding. Let me explain that to you. So as a child, right, you don't have a lot of experience with the world or a lot of understanding. So what happens is that your thoughts and your emotions, they still arise just like adults, but you're not really good at handling them because you don't have all that experience. So basically, like this poor little guy, he dropped his ice cream, right? And his mind is, I imagine, right, this is bad and I don't want this and I don't know how to fix it. I'm stuck, right? He doesn't have the experience to know you can buy another one, or he doesn't have, you know, he's sad and you don't like the sadness, doesn't feel good, angry doesn't feel good, right? The feelings are too much. So with his limited experience and understanding about the situation, he reacts because he doesn't have all that much understanding and experience. As we grow, we get more understanding and experience about the world around us. And what happens is that equanimity allows us to understand a bigger, more accurate picture of the world, right? As we practice it. So we get to know, right, about that ice cream that, you know what? Say you bought an ice cream right before you were going to go to work, right? And you dropped it and you didn't have time. It fell halfway out the window as you were driving away and you don't have time. You're okay with it. You know, it's frustrating, but you'll get over it. You know this. That's your experience. You have experience with the emotions of dropping an ice cream or the sensations will pass. You'll get a cup of coffee at work or something like that, right? And you can even say, oh, you can have some compassion with which that poor little guy with the ice cream couldn't have. But, I felt like hugging him saying, oh, honey, I'm sorry you lost your ice cream. Same with us, right? Oh, man. So we have compassion for ourselves. Wasn't personal. Stuff happens, right? Sometimes we feel like things are personal. Somebody kicked it out of our hand or life's out to get us, right? But with understanding, with our age, we kind of understand a bigger picture and a more accurate picture that life is not all the things we thought when we were 3 years old, right? And we can allow more of what's happening, especially like dropping our ice cream. So what helps us develop equanimity? Basically, it's a consistent practice of mindful awareness, so noticing your experience like we did in that practice, and then caring about that experience, caring that, it's hard or it's happy, or it's neutral. We care and we remember because of our understanding, because we've had past experience with this, that things don't last and that things aren't personal, right? So equanimity is about practicing with our capacity to be with our inner experience as it is, without fixing it, without changing it, without figuring out, without needing it to be different. Now, we're not just dropping ice creams because we're big now, right? We're older now, right? And we have big people's problems, right? So somebody cuts us off on the freeway. that could mean death. That's not like dropping your ice cream, right? That guy cut me off. I almost swerved and I could have died. So I can be more angry, right? But if we remember, if we know that that anger arises, we can do the same type of understanding of that situation that we can do with our ice cream, dropping our ice cream. So if we know that, this guy cut me up. Well, it's not personal. At first, you feel personal, right? But I'm sure this person didn't wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, I'm going to go chase Rita's car, and when she least expect it, I'm going to, scare her to death with cutting in front of her," right? It's not personal. We have been afraid before. We know that fear arises and goes down. Then comes anger. We know that anger arises, it passes, right? So I can do all that after getting cut off and feeling the fear and the anger. I can remember all those things. And then I'm calm through that, like, okay, now I don't have to chase the guy or yell at him or, give him a hand gesture or that type of thing, right? Because I'm practicing being with that inner experience as it is. I don't have to do anything about it. And I do so. And then the more we do it with the adult, with the big person's problems, the more experience and understand we get about those, right? We get in the arguments with the boss, we get in the fear with the math tests. Yeah, we read the media and become outraged. But if we can be with those inner experiences and know all those same things that we know about dropping our ice cream, we get more and more capacity of being with what's happening in our inner world. And then we don't react. We can actually respond because it calms our nervous system and we're able to respond, to use our prefrontal cortex for wise action, skillful action. So equanimity is not about indifference or allowing bad actions, right? Sometimes it gets that rap that, it means you don't even care. Like you just, oh, well, stuff happens, right? I don't have to worry about it. No, when I get cut off on the freeway, I care a lot. It scares me. What happens is that I'm able to just hold that fear or that anger, right? Without doing something about that. It's not that I don't care. I do care. Emotions arise. Even if I was to drop an ice cream, I would care. But I'm able to let that arc of those sensations or the feelings or the thoughts happen without me reacting. Yeah. And it's not about allowing bad actions, right? So it's not like, I'll get on social media and these things make me so angry. Now I can type a bunch of stuff and yell at people and be angry and even call them out and understand, with big words and everything, right? But first, I want to allow what's happening in my inner experience. Then again, what happens is now I can respond in whatever way. So maybe I can type a better response rather than a reaction of how stupid you are, right? I can say, no, actually, did you notice this, right? Or I can really say, I want to make a change and go open a soup kitchen or do a protest or vote or something like that. So the point is, it's about meeting your inner experience with this kindness, with this knowing that it'll pass, with this understanding and caring. And then that changes how you will respond outwardly. That changes your response. You don't have a reaction, you have more of a response, a skillful response. So the benefits of practicing equanimity, or it's a self-care tool, right? Because you get the freedom from having to react. Sometimes reacting is a burden. Like, I yell. Oh my gosh, I just yell whenever something happens, and I'm tired of that, right? Of course, it helps manage stress. Like we talked about, clearer decision making, more skillful, greater capacity for compassion, increased patience, which leads to contentment and happiness, right? And you recognize and begin to appreciate that the challenges and the obstacles that happen to you in life are actually opportunities to strengthen your ability to stay calm. So here comes another election or another person cuts in line, and then now how can I respond appropriately? And remember, every time you do it, you get more experience and more understanding, which leads to more equanimity, more calm under pressure. And where can it help you? Like pretty much everywhere. Yeah. Taking exams, right? If you come up to the exam, it doesn't mean you won't be scared, but it means you can handle fear as you're taking the exam. Because if you can handle it, you still have your prefrontal cortex online to answer all those math questions. Yeah. It's just that you're able to be with the discomfort of fear, right? Like we did in the practice. In the sports and performances, you can imagine, I know basketball uses it a lot. So you can imagine being on the, free throw line, and you're 1 point down and it's 3 seconds and you have to make these 2 free throws, right? You can't let all that upset change your body memory, right? You have to be able to be equanimous in that situation, have equanimity in that situation, and allow yourself to make those shots. Yeah. Of course, it helps with difficult conversations so that the emotions aren't flying around when we're having the conversation. We talked about the driving. Holy Toledo, parenting. It helps with parenting, right? Because you don't want to be in the reaction mode with these, with your kids that, are definitely might be wanting to put you in that mode. It helps at work. It helps consuming media because, wow, things are hard right now. So basically, equanimity will help you anywhere in life. So let me stop sharing here. Yeah. So practicing equanimity, this practice that we did, it will help you gain understanding and a bigger picture about how things work inside of us and how we can be with them so that we don't have to react and we have more freedom. Because when we have the freedom to choose, it's basically freedom. It's freedom. Okay, so thank you. This is the first time I've taught about equanimity, so any comments would be appreciated. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time. Last class. Okay, bye-bye.